everybody, my name is Lisa Miller. I'm the Director of Counseling here at StartBupe. Welcome to this bi-weekly video. So today we're going to talk about something called emotional maturity. What in the world is emotional maturity? So I had heard of it for a long time. It wasn't very clear to me what exactly the emotional maturity was. So let me give you kind of a brief definition first. And this is good for you to know because if you don't feel like you're emotional mature, then you can kind of work towards it. So we're going to kind of define what it is, the different characteristics that go along with it. And then if that's something you want to work on, you're going to have the formula of how to work on it, right? How great is that? And hopefully everybody that's watching this video is wanting to become more mature in every way that we can. And you'll be able to handle life better. Situations will be less stressful. I promise. Okay, so let's talk about what exactly it is. And it's real simple. It's just basically a good understanding. Like if I am emotionally mature, I understand who I am. I understand what makes me happy. I understand what makes me feel what feeling. And that way you can kind of control your emotions during, let's just say, like when the storms come in your life and things change and you're in control, your emotions are not. So have you ever like flown off the handle at something and you probably shouldn't have? Then that would mean you're probably not to that level of being emotionally mature. Not that you're never going to lose your temper. That's probably going to happen every once in a while, but you also want to learn how to control that. All right, so let's talk about the characteristics that make up this emotional maturity, right? Number one is taking responsibility. What does that mean? It means you don't blame it on your brother or your sister or your mother or circumstances. You just say, hey, you know what? You become more of an action-oriented person. You take care of things before they get to that point. And you take responsibility for anything that had anything to do with you, right? Number two is showing empathy. That's a really hard one to do. A lot of times we're more concerned about ourselves than we are other people. So don't blame others, or you don't even blame yourself. You just kind of take care of it. So basically, people that show empathy do as much as they can for others. They support other people. They tend to be a lot less selfish people. So that's really important as well. The next characteristic is they own their own mistakes. Isn't that really so hard for some of us to do, is that admit that we're wrong? Because we always want to be right. For whatever reason, we think like it's a competition between everybody. Everybody's trying to be right. But owning your own mistakes, admitting them, and taking action to correct whatever it is that you've done. Number four is allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Sharing stories to help others that maybe happen to you. Being honest with your feelings. And how many people are always honest with their feelings? That's a really tough one for us humans as well. It's tough to be vulnerable, and it's tough to kind of take that shield down, but people that are emotional and mature are able to do that and excuse me, don't really feel very uncomfortable doing it. All right, number five is going to be recognize and accept needs. So what that means is that we realize when we need help, and everybody needs help sometimes. Counselors need counseling. People need counseling. You know, we all need support. That's one of the things that's really important. And people that are emotionally mature have a tendency to have a lot of people that lean on them. And thus the need for help sometimes, right? It gets heavy. Those shoulders really get heavy. All right, the last one is one of my favorite ones that we all need to work on, is setting healthy boundaries, right? Only talking to that person that triggers you so many times a month, maybe the least possible that you can get by without it. Boundaries with family members, boundaries with your coworkers, right? Learn how to set healthy boundaries that makes your life better. Sometimes we feel like we're obligated to talk to this person, or we're obligated to interact with these people because they're family, or, you know, all these things in our heads that we're obligated, and we're really not. What you're in charge of mostly is yourself, and your mental health and how you feel depends on you, not anybody else. All right, there are some tests that you can do online. They're not clinical, but if you do a few of them, you'll kind of get an idea for how emotionally intelligent you are. You can find those, just Google them. Emotional maturity. There's also emotional intelligence, which we can talk about another time. It's very similar. There's some tests online all over the place that you could take for them. Those are really cool. So what I would like to end with today is work on identifying your emotions. That's really hard for people to do, especially after being in active addiction. But if you start identifying some of the emotions that you're feeling, you'll be able to identify how you need to work on them and kind of keep them in check. All right. Thanks for watching, and peace from StartBupe.